Hey guys, Scott Rupert, independent U.S. Senate candidate in Ohio, coming to you from campaign headquarters. I wanted to talk to you just a minute about the proper role of government and the proper role of a senator. Senator Rob Portman is campaigning here in Ohio on bringing Republicans and Democrats together on important legislation like the CARA Act, which is brought quite a bit of money from Washington to Ohio and other states to address the heroin addiction problem. It's not difficult to bring Republicans and Democrats together to address a problem that is so widespread across America. And it's not difficult to bring Republicans and Democrats together when the objective is to spend money. We have been led to believe that the role of a senator is to go to Washington and see how much money he can bring back to Ohio. And for that matter, for a representative to see how much money he can bring back to his district. Well, the question I'd like to ask is, what have you done to keep the money from leaving the state in the first place? The federal government was really built to do two things, and to do them well: to provide security at the borders and infrastructure among the states so that they can do commerce among themselves. Everything else should be addressed at the state level. If federal government were doing just these things, it would be fairly cheap and much more efficient. And state and local governments could address problems like the heroin addiction problem and other things that we all argue about and that we all want to reach out to government to address. State and local governments could do those much more efficiently, much more effectively, because they're closer to the problem. If we stop and think about it, federal government really doesn't address problems. What it does is send money back to the states to address the problem, and then they divvy it up among their municipalities and communities. Well, what sense does that make, really? If the only thing that federal government can really do is create bureaucracy, then what's the point? I'll use a small example. If we send $100 to Washington, $75 gets spent on bureaucracy, 25 $25 gets divided among 50 states and then sent back with strings attached. Our legislators are using our money to buy our votes and not being very efficient at that. If we turn the system around the way it was meant to be, where the majority of our problems are being addressed at the local level and then at the state, and federal government is just doing the things it really exists to do constitutionally, which is provide security and infrastructure, we could do this a lot easier, a lot better, a lot more effectively. So if you think what I've just said makes sense, please go to scottrupert.com, check out the website, share it with your friends, think about making a small donation. We don't have to spend millions of dollars to win an election, but it does cost money. So think about how you can help me spread the message. I'm Scott Rupert, independent U.S. Senate candidate. I'll get back to you.